So I'm a little bit late, which is fair enough, but I've got some excuses, of course. But we are finally back for another Album of the Month video. So, hello, and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now, that's right, it is Album of the Month time, where I count down the 5 albums I've been listening to the most this month. So yeah, I'm a few days late. I think it's November the 10th now, and this is, or 9th even, maybe. I don't really know. I should know, and I'll explain why. Because this is going to be about the albums I've been listening to in October. So obviously I'm 9 days late, I believe. Yeah, it is 9 days. The reason being is because I had my birthday a couple days ago. So it kind of just threw everything out. I've had a lot of people coming around and been doing some celebrating. I'm going to be going out with my friends tonight to London. So just loads of bits and bobs like that. So I just really haven't had much time to sit down and make a video. So I'm finally doing that today. I've got the 5 albums I've been listening to throughout October. And if I'm being honest, there isn't like a definitive album I've been listening to a lot throughout October. It's been kind of a quiet month. There haven't been any releases that I got terribly excited about. So it's kind of just a lot of older... Well, when I say older, I mean, nearly all of these are new albums. It's just stuff I've gone back to. Stuff I've like, oh, I haven't heard that in a while. I'll put it on, and I've played it a couple times. So I'd say these are the 5 albums I've been playing the most this month. So without a doubt, without further ado even, let's get on with the list. So the 5th album I've been listening to the most this month is, I'm gonna hold this one up. A Head Full of Dreams by Coldplay. Yeah, with the announcement of their new upcoming album, I've already forgotten the title of the album. I decided to go back and listen to their last album, and this is by no means their best. But it's a fun album, it's quite upbeat, and I quite enjoy hearing it every now and then. It's nothing special, but it's got a lot of catchy songs on it, which sometimes you're just in the mood for. So yeah, with the announcement of their new album, I thought, you know, I'm going to go back, I'm going to play this, why not? And it's a decent album, it is, but as I say, it's nothing I go shouting about too much here. So yeah, Coldplay making a list, very excited for their new album. I'm sure you might actually see that in the next albums of the month, because I think it comes out November 22nd, and if it's amazing, you know, I play the hell out of it in the 8 days of what's left of November at that point, then it might very well make the November list. But right now, I like the first song on it a lot, and the other 2 were just okay. So I'm not sure how their new album's going to go over. But I'm looking forward to it, nevertheless. Coming in at number 4, still hanging in there, I'm going to hold up the Beatles' Abbey Road. Yes, I got the vinyl set when it came out in, was it September now? So I showed it in my September video. Now I'm showing it for the October one, because I'm still listening to it. It's still great. It's still sounding fantastic. This is a timeless album. It's my favourite album of all time. It's just so good. The remastering by Giles Martin, I've already said it. It sounds fantastic. I love it. The bonus stuff on here is really good as well. I think it might actually be my least favourite of the bonus material, surprisingly. But it's still really good. It always is. And Abbey Road, it just holds up so well to this day. I find every Beatle album from Rubber Soul onwards still just holds up so well to today. That they could be released today. With a bit more of a modern production on them, of course, but they sound fantastic still. And Abbey Road is one that I hold special to my heart. So I'm had to hold that one up again. I'm still in the Abbey Road 50th anniversary mood. I'm still really getting a good kick out of hearing it. Okay, so coming in at number 3, this is an album which I've never talked about here on the channel, because I got this during the month of October. I was looking at best albums of 2019 so far. I was like, I want to get another couple, I think. Just try some more new stuff out, because I was so into Aurora. And she nearly made the list again, but I decided to leave her off. Because I'm going to be doing an Aurora video later this week, because I'll be seeing her in concert on Monday at the Roundhouse in London. So I decided, you know, I'll leave Aurora off for this one. But I wanted to get into another artist like Aurora. And it was hard to find one from this year that's been doing stuff like her. And this girl doesn't sound like Aurora at all. But she's unique, and she's got a nice voice, and she's got some catchy songs. So I found this album People were saying this is a really good album that came out this year. So I picked it up, I've given it a try, and it's pretty good. It's not great, it's not groundbreaking, it's not on that level of Aurora for me. But I like it a lot. Her name is Maren Morris, and the album is called Girl. So yeah, it's I really can't tell you much about her. She's a country singer. This is her second album. She's also in a 4-piece female band. I've already forgotten the name of it. The Higher Woman, I think it's called. But that album, I Spotify'd it, and it's way too country for me, so I'm not sure about that one. But this one here is country with a modern pop sound to it, and it's kind of unique. And the album works for the most part, but I feel like the production maybe goes a bit overboard, makes it sound a bit too modern at times for my liking. But there's still some really good stuff on here. My favourite song on here, if people want to check it out, is All My Favourite People. All My Favourite People is a really good song. I also really enjoyed a song called A Song for Everything. So there's some good stuff on here. It's worth checking out. It's a good album. And it's going to do decent in my 2019 ranking at the end of the year, I'm sure. So it's a good album, and I'm pleased I picked it up. I also picked up her first album, but I haven't been playing that one as much, so it didn't quite make the list, the first one. Right, so this is the only... Well, there was a couple new releases I got in October. There was this, there was a couple Disney soundtracks, there was Ringo's new album. But with the Disney soundtracks, I've already heard them 1,000 times, so I kind of played them once and then shelved them. Even though I'm going to go back to them because I love my Disney soundtracks. Ringo, I did play that one a couple times. Admittedly, that could have made the list, but I really, 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 really hated the album. So I didn't want to put it in here. But this album here also came out this year, or this month, or in October. If I can get my words out. And this was great. I played it 3 times. This is amazing. This is Joe Bonamassa live at the Sydney Opera House. This is potentially Joe's best live album. Joe Bonamassa releases so many live albums. I'd say it's maybe my second or third favourite. My favourite is still this one here. This is live at Carnegie Hall, an acoustic evening. And it's kind of the same songs. Both these live albums do songs off the Blues of Desperation album, because I think everyone is in agreement that that's Joe's best album. But that one's an acoustic version. So I kind of prefer that because it's a bit different. This is more like the album done live. And it sounds great. The guitars are fantastic. The songs are really long. I mean, if you look at the tracks, you look at the times, you can see here that, like, they're all 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 9 minutes. It's just crazy. They're just full of great guitar solos. It sounds fantastic. Joe is on point. This album is great. So, yeah, really, really, really good live album there. Had to include it. So that's my number 2. For album in the month of October. Number 1 is an album I've always really enjoyed, but it's always been like a Spotify play for me. And the original copy of this album goes for about £40-50, and I was like, you know, I'm not going to pick it up. I can't spend that on it. And then they reissued it, and it's got the original price on here of the reissue. It was £28. I'm like, again, I can't pay that. I don't want to pay that. However, I walked into HMV a couple weekends back, and they crossed out the original price and put $12.99 on it, and I'm like, today's the day I buy that, because I love this album so much, because I finally got it on vinyl. I've been playing it so much this month. It's Florence and the Machine's Lungs. I really like Florence and the Machines. I've just not yet decided to pick their stuff up. It's just one of those things where it's like, I'll get round to it one day. And I guess I've officially started collecting their stuff now, because I've got their first album and probably their best. So yeah, you can see there it's got the original price, $27.99, crossed out with $12.99. It also still has 27 on the back. But for the $12.99, I'm in. I can do that. So this album's just fantastic. There really isn't a bad song on here. My favourite song on here is probably A Kiss with a Fist, which is track 5. And then, of course, it's got some amazing, it's got Dog Days Are Over, which is, of course, fantastic. You've Got the Love, which I think is the most famous track off here. So yeah, it's got a lot of great stuff on it. It really does. And I'm very happy to finally own this on vinyl. So there we go. There's my 5 albums of the month. Next month's going to be really interesting because there's a couple releases coming up for the next month. So again, I really look forward to seeing what the list's going to look like next month. It's kind of cool because every month there might be an album that crosses over, like in August and September. No, wait, was it just... No, it was just September and October. Yeah, no, August and September. August was the first month I done this for. You saw like Aurora crossing over. Now we're seeing the Beatles Abbey Road crossover from September to October. So it always seems like there's kind of one crossing over. You know, I don't just listen to the one set of albums a month and then another set of albums. You know, some albums carry over. So I'm really excited to see what comes up next month. It's kind of a fun video for me to do. I really enjoy doing these because I like looking back on them and saying, oh yeah, I was into that for a while. Maybe I'll go back to that. So nevertheless, that is it for the albums of the month for October 2019. I can't believe it. We're nearly up on 2019. We'll be doing November before you know it. But that is it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it as always. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye-bye.